y'all, it's Laura and welcome back to my go-to design series where we're going through each and every one of my go-to designs that I create foundations for my pages with. If you'd like to see the very first one explaining this whole series, I will link that at the very end of the video so that you can get caught up. There will be about 15 videos in this series and they'll be up every single Saturday for the next couple of months. So let's head over to the desk and see which go-to design we're doing today. So today's go-to design is the horizontal. Now this is probably one you're most familiar with, where people take a large strip of paper and put it across the background and use that as a foundation for their paper. The horizontal is, like I said, it's probably the most popular that I've ever seen, and I like to play with it a little bit. So this background piece is just one big piece of paper, and then I have a small strip underneath that acts as a boundary between the pattern and the white cardstock. I've gone the same way horizontally with my photos here. All three of them are straight across, and even taken my title in a horizontal way as well. My embellishing is out on the sides and not so heavily at the bottom, but more out on the sides, following that horizontal look. Now, sometimes I like to mix that up. And in this case, I have my piece of paper at the top, just the same as the last one, little border in between, just the same as the last one, but it's on two pieces of pattern paper and not cardstock. I've done again with my photos a horizontal look, but by putting the main photo in the center and in color, it draws your eye directly into the center photo first. Now in this case, I've done my embellishing at the top and the bottom of the photos. So that's something a little bit different, taking a vertical embellishing design to this horizontal layout. You also don't have to use paper to create your horizontal background. In this case, I've used watercolor in an ombre effect, so getting lighter as it goes across, as the base for my photos and embellishing. I've done a bit of scattered background embellishing here, just sort of tucking things back behind the photo. And then I've done a very horizontal title and longer horizontal journaling as well. Again, with the embellishing more heavily on the sides rather than the top and the bottom. But I really like that this one is super horizontal, yet still has two vertical elements that are not connected to the main design. Something a little bit fun just on the sides. So for this design, I don't have a one piece of paper or one painted background. I have a variety that are stacked on top of each other to create this horizontal look. The horizontal strips at the top and the bottom also help to establish that horizontal design, and the scattering of the puffy leaves in the background just sort of breaks up the white space. In this case, I have 4 vertical photos, but because they're within these tags that are leaning horizontally, they look very horizontal in nature. Now, with my embellishing on these, I chose to attack each tag separately. And so each one has a small bit of embellishing, and there's no larger embellishments on the page. My title is one line, goes very horizontally, and I've kept my journaling very small, so again, it doesn't interfere with the horizontal design. This one takes this design and puts it on its head. So in this case, you may think it's a vertical design because it runs from the top of the page down to the bottom. But again, we have our horizontal strip creating our foundation. In this case, it's a kind of a confetti acetate with some washi and some scraps on top, as well as some pom-pom trim in that horizontal shape. Up here we have banners going horizontally across the page. So again, you're keeping that horizontal look even though you've filled the entire page. Now in this one, we're not going all the way across. We're stopping just inside. It's still horizontal. We have several layers of pattern paper in the horizontal format, but because this is a 9x12, I decided to do my embellishing on the vertical, as well as my journaling. So I have a longer title or shorter title, but stacked so that it's a bit more vertical. I have my embellishments clusters here and here, which is a little bit diagonal, but it's also leading the eye top to bottom, which is vertical. I then have vertical strips down the sides, but they're very small and they just help to contain the bit of wild I've got going on at the bottom. This horizontal strip adds to the horizontal flow of this layout. Now with this particular layout, we're back to the full strips, but something a little bit different about this one is that all of my embellishing, my title, and the majority of my journaling are on the sides. So even though this is a heavily horizontal layout, we have lots of horizontal lines in the background, the stripe in this wood grain is vertical, which helps to draw your eye straight down to it and then to the photos. And all of my embellishing is to the sides as well. But then I have these 3 tags across the top, which kind of create an anchor for my photos. So everything's going horizontally across, but these 3 tags create this background anchor right where my photos are going to be. I really enjoy that look, having either a block piece of paper or something like these tags to put my photos on top of. For me, makes them feel more secure on the page design. Now, here's a horizontal where we go all out. We have not only horizontal strips across the top, so we have 2 horizontal paper strips, washi in between. We also have a piece of paper here as well, so then we have 4 strips at the top, as well as some strips down at the bottom. So these are layered strips horizontally as well. I have my photos going across horizontally here, and I want these to feel like a sequence of events. So jumping on the trampoline, some of the tricks that he was doing, keeping my title long and horizontal in the center, we have a very horizontally focused layout. Now this last one looks pretty vertical. But if you look at the blocks of paper, they're horizontal. I've got 1 large peach block in the background and then 2 strips on either edge going in that horizontal. They don't go fully to the edges, but they are a nice base for my photos and journaling. You'll notice that all of my embellishing in this case is at the bottom, and that's because I have so much white space or wood grain space at the bottom. So I've gone with vertical embellishing even though my foundation is horizontal. So I hope this helped give you some ideas of how you can take this horizontal design and mix it up to make a variety of looks on your pages. If you have any questions, be sure to put them down in the comments below. I'd love to know which one was your favorite and what you'd like to see more of. We have lots more go-to designs coming up, so be sure to join us every single Saturday for the next couple of months. And until next time, bye!